Imagine waking up every day feeling exhausted, your mind foggy, your mood swinging like a roller coaster. You blame stress, work, or lack of sleep, but what if I told you the real culprit might be on your plate? What you eat doesn't just affect your weight, it shapes your mind, your emotions, and even your memory. Ever felt that unexplained fatigue after a heavy meal? Had a sudden wave of anxiety for no reason? Forgotten where you put your keys and wondered if it's normal? Science is now uncovering a shocking connection between food and mental health. Anxiety, depression, brain fog, and even Alzheimer's, all influenced by what you eat. The wrong foods could be damaging your brain, or saving it. But don't worry, this isn't about giving up everything you love. Small, simple changes can supercharge your energy, clear your mind, and even improve your personality. Want to know how? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share might just change your life. The hidden link: food in your mental health. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up feeling off? Not sick, not in pain, just not yourself. Your energy is low, your patience is thinner than usual, and your brain feels sluggish, like it's running on low battery. Maybe you brush it off, blaming a bad night's sleep, stress at work, or just one of those days. But what if I told you that the way you're feeling right now has more to do with what you ate yesterday than anything else? We tend to think of food as fuel, calories in, energy out. Simple, right? But food isn't just fuel. It's information. It's a chemical message that tells your brain how to function. Every bite you take sends instructions: produce more energy, sharpen focus, balance emotions, or, unfortunately, trigger inflammation, slow down processing, and make you feel anxious, moody, or mentally exhausted. Think about it. You wouldn't put dirty oil in a sports car and expect it to run at peak performance, would you? But every day, millions of people are unknowingly feeding their brains the wrong kind of fuel, and then wondering why they feel tired, unmotivated, and overwhelmed. Your brain on the wrong fuel. Let's talk science for a second. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. It makes up just 2% of your body weight, but it consumes about 20% of your daily energy. And where does that energy come from? Glucose. Now, here's where things go wrong. Not all glucose is created equal. When you eat processed foods, sugary snacks, or meals loaded with refined carbs, you send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride, spiking fast, then crashing hard. And guess which organ suffers the most from these crashes? Your brain. When your blood sugar dips, your brain struggles to keep up. That's when you feel the dreaded brain fog, that sluggish, disconnected sensation where even forming a sentence feels like work. It's when your mood tanks for no reason, when simple tasks suddenly feel overwhelming. It's when anxiety creeps in out of nowhere. But here's the kicker: this isn't just a one-time thing. Over time, this pattern of eating, spike, crash, repeat, rewires your brain, making you more prone to mood disorders, memory problems, and even neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. You might be thinking, wait, my breakfast could be affecting my mood? Yes. In fact, it could be the reason you feel anxious before an important meeting, irritable with your kids, or mentally drained halfway through the day. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they just have bad genes. They assume stress is the culprit. They turn to coffee, energy drinks, or medication, never suspecting that what's on their plate is shaping their mental health more than they ever imagined. A silent epidemic. Depression and anxiety rates are skyrocketing. Cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's are appearing earlier than ever. And yet, few people are connecting the dots. Think about it. We are constantly bombarded with messages about mental health: talk to a therapist, practice self-care, meditate, but how often do we hear, hey, maybe that sugary breakfast you're eating is making your anxiety worse. Maybe your daily brain fog isn't just stress, it's what's in your diet. Maybe your future risk of dementia isn't just about genetics, it's about what you're putting on your plate every single day. The truth is, food can be medicine, or poison. And for too many people, it's quietly sabotaging their mental health without them even realizing it. And that's exactly what we're going to help you change with this video. Brain on fire: how sugar fuels anxiety and depression. Imagine pouring gasoline on a fire and then wondering why it keeps burning out of control. That's exactly what happens inside your brain when you overload it with sugar. At first, you get a rush, a temporary high where everything feels good, energy spikes, and you might even feel happier for a moment. But soon after, the crash comes hard. Your blood sugar plummets, stress hormones like cortisol flood your system, and suddenly, you're anxious, irritable, or on the verge of tears without knowing why. This isn't just a mood swing, it's a biochemical reaction, a direct result of unstable glucose levels creating chaos in your brain's delicate chemistry. But the damage doesn't stop there. Chronic sugar spikes trigger inflammation in the brain, disrupting neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals responsible for happiness, motivation, and emotional stability. Over time, this cycle of highs and lows rewires the brain, increasing your risk of anxiety, depression, and even cognitive decline. The worst part? Your brain starts craving more sugar just to feel normal, trapping you in an endless loop of emotional instability and mental fatigue. And yet, most people have no idea that their diet is fueling their suffering. Brain fog and energy crashes, the role of blood sugar spikes. Ever had one of those moments where you walk into a room and completely forget why you're there? Or stare at your computer screen, trying to focus, but your brain feels like it's wading through molasses? That's brain fog, and it's not just a random glitch. It's a sign that your brain is struggling to function, often because of wild fluctuations in blood sugar. When you eat a meal loaded with refined carbs or sugar, your blood sugar skyrockets, flooding your system with energy. But soon after, it crashes, leaving your brain starving for fuel, your concentration shattered, and your energy levels in free fall. And it's not just about feeling sluggish. These constant spikes and crashes disrupt the communication between your neurons, slowing down the speed at which your brain processes information. You might find yourself searching for words, forgetting simple things, or feeling detached from reality, almost as if you're watching your life happen through a foggy window. The worst part? Most people chalk it up to stress, aging, or lack of sleep, never realizing that their breakfast, lunch, or afternoon snack might be the very thing sabotaging their mental clarity. The Alzheimer's connection, why some call it type 3 diabetes. What if I told you that Alzheimer's disease doesn't just happen out of nowhere? That memory loss, confusion, and cognitive decline aren't just about genetics or bad luck, but a process that starts decades before symptoms appear? Scientists are now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because they've discovered a shocking link. Just like type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's is strongly connected to insulin resistance in the brain. When your body is constantly bombarded with sugar and processed foods, insulin, the hormone that helps your cells use glucose, stops working efficiently. And when brain cells don't get the energy they need, they slowly begin to starve and die, leading to the devastating memory loss and cognitive impairment we associate with the disease. But that's not all. Excess sugar doesn't just disrupt energy in the brain, it also triggers chronic inflammation and toxic protein buildups that accelerate neuronal damage. This means that every time your blood sugar spikes uncontrollably, you could be laying the groundwork for cognitive decline in the future. The most terrifying part? Many people experience the early warning signs, difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, mental fatigue, but dismiss them as normal aging. By the time Alzheimer's is diagnosed, the damage has often been building for decades. Fixing the problem, simple food hacks for a sharper mind. The good news? You don't have to accept brain fog, anxiety, or memory lapses as part of your life. The way you eat can either drain your mental energy or fuel a sharper, more resilient brain, and the best part? It doesn't require extreme diets or giving up everything you love. One of the simplest changes you can make is starting your meals with fiber-rich vegetables. This slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, preventing energy crashes and mental fog. Another game changer? Swapping out sugary breakfasts for high-protein, healthy fat options. That means ditching the morning cereal and juice for eggs, avocado, or Greek yogurt, which will keep your blood sugar stable and your mind clear for hours. But what about those moments when cravings hit? Instead of eating sweets on an empty stomach, have them at the end of a balanced meal. This drastically reduces the glucose spike and its negative effects on mood and cognition. And if you want an easy, science-backed way to balance your blood sugar after eating, just move, Take a 10-minute walk, do some squats, or even pace around your house. These small habits might seem insignificant, but over time, they retrain your brain to function at its best, keeping you sharp, focused, and in control. Small changes, big impact. Your brain health starts today. Most people think that protecting their brain is something to worry about later, when the memory slips become more frequent, when focus starts fading, when the early signs of cognitive decline appear. But here's the truth: the choices you make today are shaping your brain's future. And the best part? You don't need to overhaul your entire life to see results. Something as simple as switching your breakfast, moving for a few minutes after meals, or choosing whole foods over processed ones can create a ripple effect that transforms your energy, mood, and mental clarity. These small changes compound over time, rewiring your brain for better focus, sharper memory, and long-term resilience against anxiety, depression, and even Alzheimer's. Think about it. What if, just by making a few adjustments, you could wake up feeling refreshed, power through your day with focus, and go to bed knowing you're taking care of the most important organ in your body? Your brain is your greatest asset, and the way you fuel it matters more than you've been told. The choice isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And the best time to start? Right now. If this information opened your eyes, imagine how many others could benefit too. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, subscribe for more science-backed health tips, and let's take control of our brain health together, one smart choice at a time.